don't consent to being recorded. Audio or
Fortunately, it's a one-party
then
state.
just keep your fucking mouth shut.
Yeah.
That was live, by the way.
I'm sorry, Nevada is a one-party
Can't you
state,
go back
so.
and leave that?
But I am knowing that you are, so now I can
Actually,
not to.
Well, then you'll have to.
we don't even need your permission to record. So long as I know that you're being recorded, it's okay.
That's why I said it. One-party state.
But now I know I
Yep.
am being recorded, I can ask. That it is now.
Plus, you're in a casino, so.
Yeah, you're being recorded.
You probably had a laser
Probably.
on you the moment you stepped in.
Oh, presumption of privacy. 6,000 cameras aren't here for nothing.
I don't like being recorded. Google, can you?
Hey Siri.
Can you imagine that NBA?
Please tell the NSA agent. Have a nice night.
So,
Thank
same meeting format as last time. The updates and reminders are here on the agenda for you to read on your own. I'm not going to go through them piece by piece because that usually takes me a really long time and I end up rambling. So if you read through it, if you have questions, please ask. And if you just happen to have other questions, please ask.
We don't have any actual swag samples yet, do we?
We have a few, but they're
Okay.
still rolling in.
Okay.
And no samples of what we're actually going to give away because we're still trying to choose between multiple different options.
Gotcha.
So that's what's on the way right now, is the unprinted, unbranded, just evaluating the product itself rather than
Nice.
rather than what art's going to go on it.
What can you
Don't
tell us
know
about
me.
these
I just
fancy
killed
badges?
time so I can make this.
Yes.
Fancy badges for what?
Epic tier.
That they will have an array of LEDs on them, a controller, and hopefully a micro SD card slot so that you can just throw images or a sequence of images on that micro SD card and have it sequence through them.
That seems dangerous.
Yeah,
They do it with the death cam.
no more dangerous than somebody dangling their cell phone off or an old cell phone off their neck.
They do it with the DEF CON badges all the time.
Yeah,
And so this is something that will be cut off at some point, and we won't make any more?
correct, yeah.
So are we making them or are we ordering them?
We are ordering.
Okay. But it's a like a multicolor LED array?
Yeah, they are full color LEDs, individually addressable,
Huh.
and it is an in-house design. We're not manufacturing them all by hand.
Yeah, cool.
We got 10
Like we used
3D
to.
printers.
But yeah, I believe we've budgeted for 200.
10,000 scarves was a pain in the butt?
So we budgeted for 200 units. There's nothing to show yet. They have prototypes. They just went out for proto a few days ago,
Nice.
and the protos should arrive in a few more days. And then we'll know whether or not they even work.
Still in confidence there.
I was kind of figuring probably easier to just get like an LED display or something like that. And,
That's essentially what we're making.
okay, so it's not like gonna be an LED array really, it's gonna be basically an OLED screen section or something like that.
It's a bunch of individual LEDs
Oh, wow.
that are all individually addressable.
Let the pixel art commence.
Mm-hmm, basically.
Yeah, so
I think
it'll
the
look-
the
it'll
array
be-
size is
it'll
currently
be more like 4-bit look.
it's currently like 20 by 17, I think, or something like that. I don't remember what the
Oh, like
size is.
that?
No, it's got to be wider than that because it's
So like large chunky LEDs.
semi-large. Yeah, that's cool. Semi-large, probably about 5 millimeters apart from each other and about 3 millimeters in size.
I have an extremely important question. How many lumens per diode?
They can go pretty high, but the firmware they're going to design is going to run them really low so that the batteries can actually last for a decent amount of time.
Flash the firmware, got it.
We're leaving it open so you can.
Yeah, no
I
string.
mean, hey.
So do these light up badges, are they a stand-in for a con badge?
They are the same shape and size as a con badge, so they might stand in for a con
Well,
badge.
do
They may
have-
not.
Do they have identification on them?
They have enough space to put the sticker if we want to do that.
Okay.
But I'm still on the fence as to whether or not we want to do that, or whether
Like
we
the
want to just give
default
them
would
a
be
regular
they would just
badge.
have to wear both.
Right.
Yeah, that would be,
Just like people do now.
Anyway.
That's probably the safer option anyway, is just give people an ordinary badge for actual con access, and this is just purely a piece of swag that they can enjoy.
Because I know I wouldn't want to take that to the beach or something.
Are we planning on having I don't know exactly what they're called, but like the stickers for people who are under 18, even if you remove it, there's still the like silvery background to it that won't come off the badge?
Oh,
We've
security.
actually never done that in the
Yes,
past.
stickers. Oh, okay.
We've
I wasn't sure if it had been discussed.
no, it hasn't really been discussed.
Good look it up.
I don't think. Yeah, I could see.
A couple badges, like a stack made, especially. Just have you look at those stuff.
The problem is somebody taking their name off a badge and putting it on a
In theory,
phone
it would
badge.
work for the actual label anyways, so.
So you don't.
Well, that wouldn't really solve it anyway, because they could just put another label over the top.
I don't really think it's borrow somebody else's.
Well, wait, no,
badge.
any
So,
age restricted area is just controlled by ID anyways. We don't even, we can never go off benefits.
Right. Yeah, any truly age restricted area, we're checking ID anyway. We're checking actual
Yeah,
photo ID.
I think I got ID.
Yeah, we decided a long time ago, no matter.
Every person gets ID. I'm sorry.
Yep.
And
Just,
in
I
fact,
get ID.
I think we've even been discussing getting rid of the minor indicator on the badges just to stop people from trying to trust it.
I think the only benefit is that it allows vendors to not have to check every ID themselves, and then
It also helps our volunteers identify a person that maybe is an unescorted minor that should have a
Yeah.
chaperone. Those are about the only two benefits I can think of for having some kind of special color or indicator on a minor's badge.
as far as like minors trying to be adults, they're gonna find a way, even if we
Yeah.
try to mitigate it as much as possible.
Can't we just like chip them or something?
You could just make the con 18.
The badges or the minors?
I mean, it's supposed to be cyberpunk. It would work. It
How
would
many
work.
Alright, you're also.
Line up for your tags. Like, this is so realistic.
How much for the cattle tags?
Just use a plastic.
I just put on there.
Free piercing with every admission.
Free ear piercing.
Sponsored by-
Let's see, how much do animal chipping syringes
Like,
cost?
We're
not
not
cheap.
on tangents.
Oh shit, it's only like $15.50 for 100.
Oh my god. So you're telling me.
So you're saying that we have a cheaper version of the badge?
Yeah, all we need is some RFID readers and we're good.
Perfect.
kids would still find a way around it.
Well, yeah, there's the read writers, so.
I'll make sure to let FWA know they have a cheaper option than the wristbands.
Still on the wrist.
We could tell Collie to go around with the kids.
Anyway,
We're no longer gonna have the binders full of furries.
correct. No more binders full of furries
Awesome.
for registration. We are abandoning. We used to use
I remember.
registration. Used to use books full of like 32 a page labels for pre-registration. They had a big benefit. They can't crash. We don't have to be dependent on computers, but they are slower.
And power and internet.
So what, we just figure out who they are and then print the label? Okay.
Correct. So at this point, anybody who's pre-regged is going to, as far as registration is concerned, they're effectively going through the AtCon process for everybody.
Are we going to do a registration party where we see which method is faster?
We've already tested that last year.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we measured that last year. That's why we're moving to print on demand,
So.
because print on demand is faster.
I assume we have a plan B when that doesn't work?
Morse has a plan B for when that doesn't work. Yes, he has a paper-only registration system.
Oh, God. Yeah, okay.
It's worked reliably for the last 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
So they won't even bother with alphabetical lines.
Correct.
or
We won't
anything
have.
like
We
that.
won't have
It's
to
just
bother
walk up,
with alphabetical divisions.
Walk up, ID, boom, you're in.
Yep.
Yep.
Doesn't matter.
Which makes that system much more scalable as well.
Yeah.
And if one terminal goes down, you just lose a little bit of bandwidth. But it's not going to stop some specific group of people from being able to get their badge.
Not to mention, you're not going to have one group of group of lettering is going to have no line because nobody has it versus one that's going to be
Right.
packed. You can kind of even out the load
Right.
between everyone.
Correct. So Yeah, I had a little like phone meeting with Morse and Lith a couple days ago, and they both sound very confident that this is the better way to go. I've just got to invest in a little more equipment, which I've already mostly done. I've been
Yep.
able to find good deals on most of the barcode scanners that we need. I got them for a lot cheaper used off eBay, and I've already tested them. They work.
DL barcodes?
Yeah, correct. You just beep the barcode on the back of the driver's license, it automatically looks up the person. You got a question?
Yeah, just a suggestion for the registration space, instead of having it through those little, I don't even know what it's called. Yeah, like the ticketing windows. Would it be possible to put it in like the entrance area to the Nevada room?
That's already what we're going to use.
Okay.
We're going to use the entirety of the Nevada room for
Okay.
that on Thursday.
Okay.
And then on Friday, it has slowed down enough that we can use the Nevada registration window, as we've done in the past.
Okay.
And then once Friday rolls around, we use the Nevada registration window, and the queue lives in the hallway.
Okay.
But at that point, it's slowed down enough that it's never an issue.
Okay.
But Thursday, yeah, there's a ton of people. So we have all the stations in the Nevada room proper, and all the line management in the Nevada room.
Along with the swag and everything else.
I still need to find time to speak with Morris about how we're integrating our lines into registration this year.
Remind me after this meeting is over, I can show you his drawing that he's created already
Okay.
for how he plans to lay that out.
Sure.
And I will
It's
say,
it's basically identical to last year.
okay. And I will say with the issue of crashing on the registration system, the one department I had no issues with last year was registration.
Okay.
Yeah. I had more issues with art show than anything else, really.
People found it.
Yes.
Now are they,
Oh my god.
is registration relying on us for 2020, or are they still wanting to handle the inside for themselves?
I don't know.
Okay, we'll speak to Morris.
I think they're planning on handling it on their own, so
Okay.
which I'm sure you won't complain about.
Nope, that's fine with me. It's just last year we were told that and then it didn't happen.
That that line management would be needed?
No, that line management was not going to be needed for registration. They were doing their own thing with their lines, and then I got a call like immediately when they opened. Hey, where are you?
Oh, okay. Okay, well, yep. Then do you have a way to get a hold of Morse or Lithium?
Lithium, yes. I haven't talked to Morris.
Okay. Either one should be fine
Okay.
for that purpose. You get another copy of the. Abe, there's copies of the agenda and their updates over here. Should probably just move that to the entrance.
They're two.
It's a 2-page document. Levi, did you get any more volunteers for the promo party?
Yes,
Okay.
actually, I got a whole bunch once we sent that on the staff announcement.
Okay, cool.
I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots. But if anybody does want to sign up to help out with that, please just let me know.
And yes, we do have that weird, slimy, gelatinous green thing that is intentionally weird and slimy and gelatinous and green because
Good. Thinking
Just
about
because
it,
it's
it
you.
should have been-
just for the sake of being
Yeah.
weird and slimy and gelatinous and
Just,
green.
just thinking
Is
about it
this
right
a
now, it's
drink?
like it could
Yes.
have been done with.
Is it a drink or is it
Alcohol.
Jello?
It's kind of halfway in between. It's kind of like thin Jello.
I'd try it. That sounds.
It tastes decent. It's got alcohol in it. It's got a lot of sugar. It's
Gonna get away.
It's edible.
You know what I'm
Edible?
thinking?
it's not my favorite drink of the bunch, but
That's not what it's for.
that's not what it's
Is
for.
that
See,
just
now that I'm
for
thinking it's
people
like-
that are too drunk to care?
Yes.
Well, for those who want to dare to drink it.
Yeah,
Or for people who just like drinking slime.
it's basically the same. It's the same drink that was called Liquid a few years ago. It's that like orange or that apple caramel thing
Yeah.
that I dreamed up a few years ago. I just thickened it with xanthan gum,
Oh. What?
just to make it like
Why? Because he can. That's
because
why.
I can. Yep.
Have you
It's
met Tycho?
free, and so
See,
they
I
have
like
to suffer.
Yeah, it's the same drink. It's caramel apple.
I mean-
boozy thing.
Even
You got
talking
more?
about it, he's good.
What's that?
You got any more?
I've got a whole bunch of it in
Oh, boy.
my fridge right now.
Mix it in with some Sprite and off you go.
In this case, it mixes with cream soda.
How many drinks do we have this year?
With what soda?
There's like
Cream
9
soda.
drinks on the
Wow.
menu, and I think we have a total of about 350 servings.
Nice.
So,
It's like if we really want
which
to
if we're
make a
serving one a
slimy
minute,
drink, you could use
it will take us the
tequila
entire
and
time
olive
of
orange
to
juice.
Yeah.
serve those out at
That
one
would
minute
taste
per minute.
horrible, but
And yeah, the menu has 9 items on it, I believe. One of which is just a shot of Fireball and a glass of cream soda.
There you go.
That's all you need.
So I was speaking to Levi about it, about getting a list of the extensions for the hotel for
Oh, okay.
attendees. Would you want me to get a list of all the extensions together?
I'm sure that Hawkfeather would.
Hops
Yeah.
wants
Yeah,
it.
the Ops
I
would
was
very
thinking
much
that'd
like
be useful
that.
for you.
Sorry, that's for Duggan now, not
That's
Hawkfeather.
me, yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, operations would
Tell the
absolutely
target.
appreciate that, guaranteed.
Just give me a list of what departments you want extensions for. Also, we have axe throwing now,
Yeah.
so I don't know if there was a plan on
Oh, the
having.
hotel.
Yeah, the hotel. I'm sorry.
Like,
I've
we
done
do?
axe
What's
throwing.
I've been in a casino or a furry club.
Yeah, I don't know. I know there was like discounts or like free games that was planned. I don't know if that was in the contract at all, or if you'd want to get that in the contract.
Oh.
I just
Do we want
That's-
to?
Axe
No, I don't
throw.
think
Axe
it's-
throw.
It's actually a lot
Okay.
of
I'm sure that's
like actual bladed axes, because where we had the driving range, it's been replaced with full dive VRs.
The
Right-
virtual
right next to
golf
the skateboard.
Yeah.
shuffleboard.
It's like Wii golfing, but worse.
Yeah.
I don't think we can change the
Terribly
contract
gay
at this
reference,
point
but-
anyway.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, they could do an
It's the only
addendum.
time I've ever seen
but-
it in a movie, so.
Yeah, I didn't know if there was any plan for that. Also, they do have long straws at Fat Tuesdays, like the really long ones.
Oh,
I will have to test this
we
tonight.
will never run out of straws. Oh wait,
Yeah.
we
the
finally
huge-
did.
I
We
actually-
should probably make sure that Fat Tuesday stocks up on
I
straws.
actually, before this meeting, I went by
Strongly
and said,
stocks
like,
up.
hey, you might want to do this. And they're like, oh, we had no idea. Thanks for the heads up. So
Yeah.
I don't know if they were just like,
Yeah,
blowing
that's
smoke up my ass or
They are
whatever,
going
but
to be
I
drunk.
told them, so.
Probably will need
They're
reminding.
going to go
that is
like
probably a good
Yeah,
idea
it's
for
like
them
last
too. They
year
will
we
make
called
a
a pizza
bank.
place, so
Find out when they do their stock
Yeah,
ordering and
pizza
remind them
pizza.
the day before.
Yeah.
They definitely
Just-
talk to them.
Just
Well,
for
probably a
curiosity.
couple weeks before, because it may take them more than a day to get them.
Sure, well, like whenever, I mean, like find out whenever their ordering days are.
Because I think they're like 20, like they're either 24, I know they're not 36 inches, but they're at least 24 inches long. So especially for suitors, like
Yeah.
maybe just going to them and being like, hey, can we just get a box of those and keeping them in the headless lounge? Or just where we serve water might be a good idea.
Okay. Yeah, and they're gonna get suitors asking them for.
Oh yeah,
straws,
absolutely. I was
guaranteed.
just thinking like
For the drinks.
taking a step ahead.
Oh, we buy our own for the headless lounge.
Oh, okay.
We stock up our own for the headless lounge.
Okay.
Yeah, but still, they'll make bank out of that.
Although I think we may be depleted right now. We do probably need to buy more. I have to check with you.
I do believe he said
Though.
that they
Are
were
we
allowed.
stocked up?
Yeah, we find
need
it now.
We
Yeah.
do need to buy them. Okay. I'll just add that to the purchase list now.
And maybe a heads up as well to any suitors. They are like a third of every glass is alcohol.
Oh,
Nice.
Fat Tuesday.
So I'm gonna need to stop by there on the way out. so-
No, you're paying like $20 for a yard, but you're getting your money's worth of alcohol. Out of
Yeah.
curiosity, do they have non-alcoholic or is it all alcohol? One. Okay. They have a single non-alcoholic.
Somebody's like throwing lemonade.
Do they ever even sell
That's
it?
strawberry. Say again?
Do
Yeah,
they
it's
ever
when
even sell
parents
it?
drag their kids there because the parents wanted.
Oh.
Let me get you a smoothie, and I'm gonna get a special smoothie.
Don't touch mommy's smoothie.
It
We're
was,
gonna get
it was
a-
horrible because we had a soft open on a
Daddy
Saturday,
smoothie?
and I'm like, oh, it's not gonna be that busy. I walk out from the employee area, and like every other person has just a yard of daiquiris. It's like,
See, they
fuck.
might do well to have a couple more non-alcoholic options. There's going to be a lot of people that want a cold refreshment after suiting
I'm
or
not-
during suiting.
They may have to go to a different place because Fat Tuesdays is prime. They
Oh, yeah.
barely
No, I
pretend
just said
to
it'd be
serve
nice.
food.
I don't even think they serve crackers, do they, or
Yeah,
cookies?
I think they do.
They just have they
cookies
just,
and
it's
chips. I
just
think that's
liquor.
it.
Yeah,
We
I thought they
serve
were just,
food, not just a bar.
I thought they were just selling those icy things.
Yeah, but they're very good.
If you put enough alcohol in it that you don't know, they're not good.
Good. They'll get that. Well, I warned California Pizza Kitchen because they didn't know about the con, and I just said, well, they're gonna get a lot of weird people, but
Oh, right.
Yeah, we're harmless, but they're weird.
but you're gonna see a lot more traffic than you're used to seeing. So
Yeah, I like talking to them.
Any questions? Ask
You're
your
our second biggest. Yeah.
Well,
What's the biggest burning?
Hot August nights.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Whatever
okay,
they call it.
that figures.
Hot August. Yeah, hot August nights. It's
Do we have any idea in terms of when the bazaar applications will be opening?
Not that I've heard of. Shoot, do you happen to know when Damick was planning to do that?
We were supposed to do it a few months ago. I have reassigned the task so you could do it into.
I guess the one we had last year had a lot of problems.
Well, it fit.
It fit, but it just was like, it would easily explode.
You just couldn't see when to stop filling it.
Yeah.
That was, and we did test to make sure it fit.
Yeah.
We use it to test like
Yeah, we just
other things.
forgot that, like, you also have to be able to see when it's full.
Yeah, you look down inside.
It was so close you couldn't look down inside. That was the
Yeah.
problem.
Do we, have we reached a consensus with security about getting an elevator secured for suitors?
Getting an elevator secured.
Talking like back of house again.
Like back of house elevators?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, they definitely still want us to do that.
It's,
Well, no, I wasn't
it's
sure.
not an elevator, it's that we can ferry people back there.
Okay.
Correct.
With the guide.
Yep, as long as a staff member is with people, they can use it.
And not the room service elevator in any way,
Yes.
shape, or form.
Right, but the people who are doing that ferrying know which
Yeah.
elevators they can and cannot use.
Yeah.
And is that a hotel staff member or a con staff member?
That's a con staff.
That's
member.
one
It's
of
a
my
con
staff.
that we've talked to them and said this is the people that we will have do it, and they know, they know.
Yep.
So, anybody else?
Random
they know.
volunteer now.
Does everybody in here have their volunteer applications in?
No.
Maybe.
Yeah.
No.
Gave your phone, right?
No.
I think
Go ahead.
so.
I'm gonna fill yours out for you.
Yes. You were like the third
Don't do
person
it.
to apply.
Oh, good.
They didn't make him do
I
it.
don't remember.
No, no, he's gonna work in art show.
Oh, 20 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
I can put it in right now if you like.
Put me in IT.
You can have it.
Canon, everything is done.
I'm pretty sure like 80% of us want something IT.
Oh, gee, look at the time.
Yeah. Oh God, you'd be so good.
I probably could.
We can hang out so much.
Very quick question in regards to volunteer. Was there a problem with the reg system a few days ago?
It was down for a little bit,
Okay.
but it was only like a few hours.
Okay. That's
He was just
probably-
unlucky.
That's probably the exact time that I went and said, hey, you can apply. Oh, wait, no, you can't.
Well, it hates you, obviously.
One big thing though, and I'm counting this more this year than last year, is that people, especially EV, will put down they'll go and quickly do the thing and they'll put 4 hours by default. And then I have to go chase them down and go, I see you typically or in years past have done
Mhm.
20, 30, 40 hours, now you put 4. What's going on?
Right.
So just make sure if you're doing the application that you put that in.
And
Did we get the default fixed on that or not?
I requested it, but there's been no movement.
Well, and I assume it still applies that if you're a staff member, that you need to have the correct hour quantity in advance.
Yes.
Because that affects how you're compensated.
Exactly.
Correct.
The big issue, especially with staff, is if you are doing 12 or more, we process those room comps in advance of the con. If you put down 4,
You get missed.
you get missed, and
Yeah.
then you like, well, where's my comp? What happened? We look, you have 4, and there's nothing we can do.
Right. Yeah, I had probably half a dozen of those last year,
Yeah.
where people were like, I didn't get the room comp I expected, and then I look at their application and they had 4 hours, and I'm like, that's why you didn't get a room comp, because you didn't commit to 12 hours. They're like, oh, but I did like 20.
It's not so much what
Okay.
you do; you have to put it
Yeah,
in
it's
advance.
like you have to make that commitment in advance, because the way that they do the comps, they have to get them in advance too, and we can't do them after the fact.
that, and the FC party is all I have.
Do we know when and what room it's in yet?
That's a good question.
We got the same room again as we've had in the past.
Which is?
That is Marriott room 424.
And when is it going down?
I think we should probably set a start time of 9 p.m. What did you put in the
8.
schedule? 8?
Yeah.
Yeah, then we should set a start time of 9 p.m.
Okay.
At least officially, what we put on flyers and stuff.
Okay, now we're gonna fly.
We're still definitely going to try to have the room ready and going by 8.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But let's have the flyer say 9. That's, I think, what we've done the last several years. And we've been in that exact same room the last
Is it
several years.
424?
Yes, Marriott room 424. Which is a tiny little closet of a room.
Oh, and Friday only still, right?
Correct, Friday only. Because we still want to go enjoy the con ourselves on Saturday.
Silly.
We will always debate every time we go there to do it on Saturday.
We're not. We're not debating because we're not.
We're going to debate it.
Well, Saturday
He
is
always
time
says-
for the other room parties to accommodate you guys.
Right.
Exactly. We want to go and
Now,
drink too.
the only thing that causes the debate of, oh, should we run the party for a little bit again on Saturday is if we have a bunch of leftover booze that we don't want to take home.
I'll just Kay will drink it.
Well, that worked out so well last year.
You'll end up doing the chewable one.
Guys, meat sucks.
Where are we going
Holy
for
shit,
breakfast? And
it's
then
good,
all
but
the-
it sucks
all the
after.
towels.
Did you end up a very special K?
Oh yeah, Kay.
We have more if you want
He was
some.
very special on Saturday.
It's like what? 2 hours to get them off the floor?
I heard about that.
That's how you do it right.
Yeah. Make
And
memories
then-
by not having any.
I walk in.
Train
the
makes
room.
really good mead, by the
He
way.
really does.
Is that coming back by chance?
I have more.
Not this year.
Too much furniture was broken.
Too much fun.
Oh, God, I forgot.
No, it just doesn't really fit. It just doesn't really fit the theme
Yeah,
this
that's
year.
what I was thinking.
It probably will make an appearance again next year because we're going back to the 2019 theme for 2021.
This year, Tygo, can you check that underneath the bed and make sure that lake is still?
Cool. Let's get that on tape.
Yeah, this is all being recorded and put to use after the meeting is over.
Nothing happened.
Everything was normal.
Perfectly innocent.
The plant didn't blow up.
All of our deposits were returned. The end.
And I'll make a note, even though it says it right here in the agenda, the Chromebooks that we got are this.
Yeah.
So
Those are nice.
yep, they're decent. They've got this little rubber edge on them. They appear to be designed for elementary schools, which is perfect for furries.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because they're about as careless.
They scored a 314 on the rendering test.
Nice.
It's really crappy.
So yeah,
Yeah.
they're slow, low-end machines. They're good enough to run Google Docs and a website, and that's it.
Pretty
And
sure.
that's fine.
Yeah, and pretty sure most people will not need them in their laptop.
I can't think of any department in the con that needs a full-fledged Windows machine except registration. And that's just because they can't print to those label printers
Wow.
with anything other than a real Windows machine.
Depending on how our show goes. Yeah.
I could.
I can tell you for sure that our gallery can use Chromebooks and they'll be fine.
Good.
That's one of the things I had in mind.
That's one of the things I'm going to talk about.
I will probably use mine like I did last year, but I can always use one for that. But it does have to be Windows because inevitably there will be those last second we need to have.
Yeah.
When this person needs to become staff and we have to print out their.
Yeah, I'd still highly encourage everybody to bring their own personal laptops and use those if they can.
Yeah, Levi's stuff was actually pretty stable last year. So, yeah.
Isn't that not a good thing to advise people to do? So, theft of personal property, et cetera, et cetera?
We're a charity.
It doesn't change that.
Well, I mean, if you've got like a $2,000 gaming laptop and you're going to be really heartbroken if it disappears, then yeah, don't bring it. But
And you probably shouldn't be bringing it on the plane. You probably should be driving with it.
But if you've got a kind of a beat up old laptop that you're not that concerned about, bring it to the con. It can come in handy.
Yeah.
Mine weighs 14 pounds, so I
Maybe
could
don't
take-
bring that
Yeah, probably not that one.
unless you need a bludgeoning instrument. And
Yeah, it's
then-
really good at that.
And then maybe, but
If you're going downtown at night, it might be a good self-defense weapon.
It's one of those old 20 inches.
So you can blind them too.
Oh, the screen's pretty.
But yeah, I think we've got enough Chromebooks to spare that probably every department should be able to request at least one.
I could make use of one for keeping track of everything not Android related.
Then just email sysadmin to
Yeah.
get a list of what you need.
Yep.
When it comes to minors, is there in like their rules of conduct the curfew?
There is no specific curfew in the code of conduct.
Okay, well there's a casino curfew for people under the age of 18.
Is there?
Is
11 p.m.
7 p.m.
11 p.m.
11 p.m. Okay.
How
about people under 18?
Under the age of 18, they have to be with an adult.
Since since they've never brought that up to us, right?
Right.
Then that's probably their jurisdiction.
You think
It's
that applies?
not up to us to like get out of here.
Do you think that applies only to the casino itself? It probably doesn't apply to our con space since it's isolated from the casino.
No, yeah. So as far as I've been made aware, because I've had to enforce it, it applies to anywhere that is not the hotel rooms.
Really?
Really?
Yes.
Even private
That's
space.
odd.
Well, if the hotel never
So
told
as
us,
far as I've been aware, because it's been enforced at the bowling alley, it's been enforced on the way back from the bowling alley, that entire walkway on the spa level.
Oh,
Basically,
okay.
it's to keep children from being unattended.
Mhm.
There's a lot of people in here, primarily adults. If there's anyone under the age of 18 and they're caught unattended without an adult, mainly we don't want kids causing a ruckus, and we want to make sure the kids are safe.
Yeah.
So if they're found unattended, they're gonna be like, hey, where are your parents?
It's just 9 times out of 10, except for a few situations, con space is considered private space.
Okay.
So because we are gated by badges, so odds are that probably doesn't apply to con space, but would probably still apply to the hallways if they.
Okay.
yeah, if the hotel asked us to do it, we would. But since they haven't mentioned it,
Okay.
it's not going to be on anybody's radar to do that.
I mean, it's good to know that it's there if it
Yep.
becomes an issue, but we have.
No, I mean,
I just thought giving a heads up to minors might be a good idea instead of getting unaccompanied minored by security.
Yeah.
Because they do essentially take them back either to their hotel room, and if no one's awake, they take them back to security, and they have to stay there until their parents go get them.
Yikes.
So,
But we do want to find out if that's,
Yeah.
to the con space, if they decide to want to apply it to the con space.
Okay, well, Cody, that's a hotel question, so can you please get that on your to-do list
Yes.
to find out if that applies to us and if that applies to con space?
the reason why I brought it up is because after 11, most of con space is closed. So,
And the third question is, do we have to enforce it? That's the most important.
Yeah.
Right. I would guess probably not, since we've never been asked to do it before, and we've been here for 8 years now.
It's probably not
I
in
would
the
think they would have
contract.
brought it up by now if it was an issue,
Yeah.
but
I mean, almost I'm tempted to not ask because
Yeah.
I don't want to, and then nobody wants to.
Yeah, 'cause they're like, oh yeah, we didn't tell you that.
Because like if they don't tell us to, and then they expect us to, we'll be like, it's nowhere.
Let's not make an issue out of something that isn't an issue.
yeah, it's okay.
Exactly.
It just gives us one more reason to make the whole con 18 plus.
Live on air, recorded.
No one's objecting.
we're just trying to balance out for the new con.
Everybody here has at least worked 1 year. So.
No, I mean, I'm still, I'll be fully open about this. I'm not necessarily interested in having kids at the con, but I am very interested in not shutting out kids as parents.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I care about people under 18 being able to come to the
It
con. It's
would be,
purely just to not shut out the parents. Not shut out parents who are furries.
Right.
That's the only reason. In my mind.
He wasn't able to come this year, I'm sorry.
Was Sierra accessible to con attendees last year?
The room?
Sierra?
Okay.
Sierra, the person or the room?
So it's like it's an automated assistant
The what?
that we have on property now. So anyone who signs up with a phone number will receive a text from Sierra. It's like our It's like our Alexa for property.
Oh, that's
So
right.
if you need towels, toiletries, anything, you can just text the
I don't
number.
think, was that around last year?
I think it was.
I don't think it
I
was.
think it was.
No, I think it was,
I
and I
remember getting
think
the text
that
last year. Okay.
they do mention that to people at the front desk.
I saw it, or
Okay,
nothing
yeah.
about this last
So
year.
it's there for people if they need it. I'll also make sure to give the contact information for housekeeping, security dispatch, anything that people need. But yeah, I'll just need a list of what numbers to give.
Should we put that? We should probably put that information on the hotel on the con website too, then, right?
Yeah.
How to be able to contact or how to be able to get in touch with that particular
Yeah.
automated request system
Well, yeah, I guess if
So you can only get into contact with it
after you check in. Yeah.
So just to
Right.
maybe just as a so people don't get confused, like, oh, I can't access it yet.
I would
Right.
assume,
And
I would assume if we're putting it on the convention website for the attendees to use, is that yes?
Yeah, I think it would.
shouldn't be it shouldn't be something used for the staff.
Is there a like centralized place that people can use to contact it? Because I can see a person forgetting how to get in touch with it
It
after they.
texts you when you arrive.
Right.
Yeah.
So it contacts your personal number.
Is there-
So like
So
if
why-
you check in and you give them a cell phone number, you'll get a text a few minutes after you check in saying, "Hello, I am Sierra. I'm your personal assistant for the hotel,"
Okay.
or something like that. And then if people need anything, you can also call housekeeping, but it's more just for people who don't know how to call housekeeping. They can just text, and it's easier.
Oh, and you don't have to
It's
sit on hold for
basically
5 minutes
boomer-proofing
waiting for somebody to answer the phone.
housekeeping.
So,
So-
I'm assuming none of can you be charged for anything that you ask Sierra to do?
How do you mean?
Towels or
No, you're
I
not
know-
charged for towels or anything. The only reason you'd be charged for it is if it was missing, and that's at checkout.
I know in this, granted, this is other hotels that have a similar system. They usually will, if there is a charge, they will advise you and say, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
yeah, because it feels like if we got like extra water
$30
bottles
a
for
day for a
like
fridge
the
like that.
fursuit
Extra
lounge,
like
that wouldn't be something
GFC.
we would ask Sierra for.
No.
Okay.
So it's for like
more for
little
a-
things like towels, soap, shampoo, stuff like that.
For those people who have checked into the hotel.
Yeah, and like little stuff like that. But there's also, I'll make sure to give the extension for maintenance as well.
I like that.
I don't have it off the top of my head.
The GFCI numbers.
People can also just call 0 to get the operator if they need, and they can get there eventually.
Like this on, like this on.
Okay, I'm just gonna note. I'm gonna note right now to add that to the hotel part of the website, just that there is an automated text message based assistant that you can use to make requests for your hotel room.
And it will text you when you check in.
It knows where you live.
Like furries are really needy. That should be interesting.
What's this $2,000 bill for text messages over this weekend?
Yeah, the hotel says that we're closing down soon.
Well,
We had how many requests?
you can use
And they're all
Sierra
for
to
fridges and
request
and
water.
towels.
Oh no.
Oh.
You should look it up on the website.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Tycho, how are we gonna handle the water in this first suite?
Well, that's
Is
just
it gonna be
something
going with the
pays
with the
for
5-gallon bottles?
hotel room gets you water.
Water, we're probably gonna want to continue to pay for the 5-gallon bottles.
Good.
I think we may have a system that's going to work for being able to use tap water to at least make the sports drink, and then we won't have to pay $35 for each of those 5-gallon bottles. We used 630 of them.
We have to truck in our own?
We used like 2 Culligan trucks worth of water bottles
Yep.
Oh my
For the
God.
fursuit lounges?
for it was
Con.
all of Con's
Yeah.
space.
Okay.
We got charged everywhere that it was used.
I remember.
So fursuit lounges, video gaming, etc. But people got to stay hydrated, like,
Yep.
and we got to spend money on food and beverage anyway.
That's true, so.
And if it's our
And
big show,
that made a good dent in the food and beverage minimum. But I'd rather get something more useful than water out of it if I can get away
Yeah.
with it.
Water is the most useful thing. Right, Ken?
Yes.
They won't just bring our own water?
Drink water.
Like if we theoretically wanted to?
Not at that scale. No.
What do you mean we can't just get like
But-
Bang in 5-gallon bottles?
But I mean, the tap water is perfectly
Don't
fine,
buy that.
Yeah.
and it's plumbed into the building, and it costs essentially nothing.
It comes from Tahoe. It's,
Yeah, it's fine. The tap water in pretty much all of Reno is fine. in my experience.
So
And
do
it'll
we
be
have-
more than fine for reconstituting powdered sports drink. Nobody will even, it will not matter whether or not you use bottled water or tap water.
Use tap water. Excuse me, can you get over yourself?
I can taste the chlorine in this sports drink.
Yeah, that's a flavor enhancer.
Yes, that's right.
I can
That's how you know it's
feel
working.
the pipes oxidizing.
It's the drink plant.
You laugh, but somebody will say it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chlorine.
Well, we're not gonna make him drink it.
It chemically cleans your power.
Just highly suggested.
So, the other thing we're looking at maybe changing what actual dispenser we're gonna use for that. I'm talking about that with Yema right now. I have, have you ever seen the like 6 gallon, like cube containers that are used for camping?
Yeah.
They sell them at Walmart.
Yeah.
Those are, because of they have a nice sturdy handle on them and they have a good cap, they're really easy to haul around. And that makes it easy to huck them onto a cart, wheel them over to a back of house sink, fill them up with tap
Okay.
water from that sink,
Have we considered?
pour the powder into them, close it up, and then set it back up. And
Have we considered getting a water boy? Like the big thing on wheels, it's like 100-gallon tank of water, and with spigots attached to it.
no, I hadn't considered that. That might actually work better for our purposes.
Because there's like 6. It's used for football a lot, or like outdoor sports.
Is that something the GSR owns, or are you saying we would have to buy
You'd
it?
have to rent it.
Oh, okay. So okay.
Yeah, but it's like it's got like 4 wheels. It's a huge. It's like 2 55-gallon oil drums.
Right, and of course it's going to have a sturdy as hell cart because it's
Oh, yeah.
carrying so much weight.
Yeah, and it's got like 6 spigots. I don't know if you can get them electric powered. Generally, the outdoor ones are gas powered. So, because it
Well, we would just serve at room temp, so we don't.
no, it for getting the water out.
Oh, they're not just
'Cause
they're
it-
not just
it's
gravity
pressurized.
dispensed. Oh, okay. So it's not just a giant. It's not just a giant gravity dispensing.
There might be,
You
but the
could
ones that
probably
I
find one of
use
those.
aren't.
So I imagine they probably make them in various.
Yeah, I'm sure we could find one.
Yeah. Maybe. I feel like the basic 6 gallon cube jugs will work pretty well though.
The hassle with those is storage, but you know.
Buying new, right?
Well, they would replace the 5 gallon insulated.
Oh, okay.
Like
So you would just basically
Coleman
set
coolers
those
that
up
they
and
have
just
now.
plunk and they have the tap on them and.
Yeah.
Can't we just get one of those large farm dispenser drums
Yeah,
and a
that's it.
hose?
He was basically making.
I think that's essentially what you're
That's
suggesting.
essentially what he's suggesting.
Oh, God.
Just single hose, gravity feed all the way down.
Oh, I mean, we have an extra.
Okay, it
Well,
looks, someone did comment that Sierra was
Maybe.
available.
My dad
In fact,
just closed
they
down
actually
the
got a text
repair shop.
before checking.
My dad's
Could we
retired.
make
We have, we're gonna pull out the in-ground oil.
sure we could hack together something.
Oh yeah,
Also,
yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
Elevated a little.
Yeah, there you go.
Or the aqueous.
Hose out the bottom.
Uh,
Yeah. Just gotta find a way to pull it in.
That's not
Yeah.
toxic at all.
I don't know if they plan on
2x4s
using it
make it
for
struts, right?
BLFC, but they also have like
Yeah,
those
it's
water
fine.
stations that they have.
Lightweight.
They fill
Lots
with
of
like
duct tape.
fruit and water, and they have
Nice.
Gotta have that.
yeah,
Oh,
they put
yeah.
them all over the place. I don't know if we'd have access to those
double
or be able to
precaution.
set them up and
Duct
have them
tape
restocked.
with
But I know
super
at least
glue
in the
backing.
lobby, they on busy days they'll refill those like 5-6 times.
They'll never
a
come
night.
off again. They'll be a permanent.
Are you talking about like standard water? I missed a little bit of that. Are you
The-
talking about like
So
standard?
it's basically like a cart that they fill with like 4 or 5 gallon things of water. They put like fruit and ice in it, and they just keep refilling it. I don't know if we could like get that
Oh, okay.
specifically for the con.
It's the drink dispenser they have at the catering stations.
Mhm.
And at the front desk. Yeah.
We'd probably blow through a lot of water. I mean, that might be.
That probably actually costs more.
Well, no, I don't mean getting them to refill it. I mean just using the station itself. I don't know if we'd be able to rent the station.
Oh,
Things
I
only
see.
hold like 2.5
I mean,
gallons or
we're.
something.
I think we're just trying to throw as much water as these people as possible.
Yeah,
It's
generally,
probably
yeah.
just the 5 gallon jugs.
I'll
I mean,
be
and they've
working
never
on it.
offered it to us, so.
I'll still ask Susie, or
Yeah.
if you can ask Susie if they have larger water dispensers that we can use in Conspace instead of just the standard 5 gallon dispensers. There might be a few places where like if they have a 40 gallon dispenser instead of a 5 gallon dispenser or something like that would actually be useful. I'd like to at least know if it's an option.
Spending less time.
And then
to
if we
do
find out it is, we can take that to Yema and he can make the decision as to whether or not that's useful.
Or we get a beer bong, trick them into doing the beer bong, but then we pour water.
I don't think you have tripping.
Sure is helpful
You
having a
would-
man on the inside. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Depending at the time of
It's all the
night,
stuff
they
I
might
didn't
not
know
even
existed here.
notice.
Yeah. You know, like Axe Throw.
Yeah, like
Axe Throwing
axe
Fat
throwing.
Tuesdays, 24-hour fitness center.
Okay, let's.
Let's go get trash and throw axes.
Yeah, that was actually like the first thing that happened when I saw that we had Fat Tuesdays opening and axe throwing. I'm like,
Man, BLFC
furries
is
plus
getting good.
alcohol plus throwing axes. This is gonna end horribly.
Yeah, do we?
Yeah, I'm
Or
curious.
really amazing.
Does the axe throwing shop actually check people's sobriety before allowing them to throw axes?
Why
It's
would
a
imagine
casino,
so?
so I'm gonna assume probably
No.
not.
It's probably not real great for their liability insurance.
Yeah,
Just,
how is it for our
What do you mean
liability
liability insurance? We're a casino. You can't sue us.
well, they're not in con space, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's part of the business.
Not our responsibility
Yeah,
at
that
all.
is the it doesn't matter look.
That only matters if they bring the axes into con space.
Which already
Don't
we
say
will have a
that.
problem.
What do you
All
mean?
the
If
axes
it's
in
an axe and
space?
there's furries, it will somehow manage to escape.
I'm pretty sure if somebody starts trying to walk away with the axes
yeah.
from the axe throwing place, security will be on them very quickly.
What do you guys ask?
Yeah, see, next year it'll be even better because it's the D&D theme again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That actually might be a good idea to get like discounted rates on, like for bowling.
I could potentially even host an axe throwing competition as well.
Yeah, because bowling's open until 3 a.m.
I don't want to encourage our attendees to play with bladed objects.
Bowling's open 24 hours. It's for us.
Okay.
That's what it says in our contract, so it better be open
Oh, okay.
24 hour.
Alright.
If it isn't, then we got some renegotiating to do. Is it not normally open 24 hour anymore?
No, normally it's open until 3 a.m.
I think that's been the case for a little while though, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they
Since
are.
I've been working
I
there.
keep meaning to
I-
go bowling when it's free, and I'm always asleep.
But yeah, this year they definitely was still open all night,
Okay.
as per our contract. And we're paying for that, so
Yeah.
they better keep it open.
I've actually
And it gets
got-
used heavily.
Yeah.
Yeah,
actually
we still
the-
got kicked out of it for an hour.
That was an extenuating circumstance.
Yeah, but that wasn't late at night, was it?
No.
No, it was in the afternoon.
Then that wasn't one of the times that we had it rented for ourselves. That was just a time when anybody can be in there.
Something that we may want to clarify, because I ran into this last year with the photography people, is whether or not the pool specifically is you must have just a con badge for the time we rent it, or do you still have to have a GSR room key?
It should be con badge only.
And yeah, they were still checking for.
Yeah, that's hotel.
They're still
policy.
checking for keys.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's an agreement in the contract or whatever, but it is genuine hotel policy that you
Right.
must have a room key.
Yeah,
Right,
it
and
was
that would
supposed to be-
generally be the case, except that we have rented the pool explicitly for that time.
Okay.
So it should be ours
Okay.
during that time, and we should be able to allow anybody in there with a con badge, whether or not they have a room key.
Speaking of photos, I don't know if anybody got busted or not busted, but in trouble for this last time. But no flash photography or anything out on the casino floor.
It's in the con policies already.
Okay.
That's been in the con policies for several years.
Okay.
Not that anybody ever reads them, but it's in the con policies.
Okay.
Cody, can you make another note to contact Susie and make sure that it's clear that the time that we have the pool rented for our own private use
They need to stop.
they need to allow everyone with a con badge, regardless of whether or not they have a room key.
Also, did we looked at the security, like the RSI or whatever.
ESI?
ESI, but a different.
I did reach out to Triumph Security, and I skipped security tasks because they were rated even more poorly than ESI.
How?
Yeah, I
That's
don't know.
impressive. That's almost impressive.
But I did reach out to Alert Security and Triumph Security, and I got a canned response back from one of them and no response back from the other one. So either I need to reach out again, or I need to delegate that to you. Would probably be a good person to delegate that to.
The GSR recommended a number of companies. Do they have like a point of contact that we could?
We could ask Mo again too,
Yeah.
and find out what other possibilities there are in town.
Yeah, because I mean, sounded like you worked with them a lot.
I get the sneaking suspicion they're all going to be as bad at communication and bad at scheduling as ESI is.
ESI has gotten only worse.
What has
Best topic of a public meeting.
I just don't care.
Okay.
what has their application?
I'm so fed
It's
up
not
with the
slander
SI.
if it's true.
No, it's not slander. It's like I don't think there's anything
It's
to
only
benefit
conversation,
from
so.
this conversation.
That's true. Yeah, there's no reason to have this
Okay.
conversation with everybody. But yes, I've tried. I haven't tried super hard, and I haven't gotten any answers back. So either I need to start pestering people, or I need to delegate somebody to start pestering people.
How far do we need to establish some contract with them?
We should probably get on it pretty soon, or rates are going to start going up if we don't get something on lock relatively soon. Because the closer you get to when you actually need the people, the more they charge.
Now, what is the application we need them for?
Same as before.
Door
just,
checking?
Just badge
Just
checking.
door check. Okay.
Yep. No other purpose. Just badge checking. only.
And then what's under that purview? Like, is it just a special license that they hold as a security company to be able to like grant authentication for that, or?
Frankly, we could probably just hire people from a temp agency to do that too. It doesn't necessarily.
Yeah, but
No.
what requirements does it take?
No.
Like, what?
Is there a possibility?
That is a no.
Bad tyco.
As people who have hired temps.
Oh yeah, I know.
Good.
But
Me first.
I don't think there's a specific certification that's needed for that.
So we just
for that
need-
particular task.
We just need to hire door checkers.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we're doing. We're just hiring people to do door checks so that we don't have to make our volunteers do it.
Okay.
You just answered my question. Briefly, just to make sure you have the full scope, do they also need to be able to check ID for the adults only rooms?
That's true. We do use one of them to do that in
Just
the
to make
dealer's
sure
den.
that you know the whole, you need to check our badges and
Yes.
IDs.
Yeah, there is one person in one place at the entrance to the black market. Their task, they don't care about con badges anymore because a person behind them has already checked that. They're just checking photo ID.
Actually, we also needed one for the party area, right?
Thank you.
That's true, and
But that's still badge check.
Well, then
that's technically just a badge check is all we really need it for.
They don't do an ID check there?
ID
I've
checks are
asked
handled
I've
by
asked them to
individual
do that
rooms,
in the
aren't
but theoretically the parties should be doing that.
they? Yeah.
But I've asked the person checking the party floor to do it just to save somebody the inconvenience of realizing they forgot their photo ID. Just so they can't even get on the floor without a photo ID that they're eventually going to need anyway for a party. It's just to save somebody from having to worm their way through the crowd and then worm their way back through when they forgot their ID. It's purely a convenience thing. It's not really a requirement. And the party mavens very much do explicitly require all parties on our party floor to be checking for ID at all times.
Would it be possible to use QLess for our, because I know we were like throttling how many people are allowed into the marketplace at one time. Would it be possible to use that instead of tickets?
I want to say Crash is looking into something like that, but you said there's actually there probably is a commercial product that just does that, isn't there?
Yes.
Qless.
Yeah.
I'll let him know that that's a possible commercial product. I'll do that right now.
Is it spelled out or just the letter Q?
Yeah, the letter Q less. Because even the word Q is just the letter Q in 4 sentences.
Nobody can spell Q.
So it's QUEUELESS.
No, it's the letter
Little
Q.
letter
Oh, it's just the
less.
letter Q.
Yeah, that was a
less.
joke.
Okay.
Yeah, the logo is its own pun.
Yeah.
It's the one tech company name where the name is actually easier to remember now. Which vowels did they drop again? I don't remember.
How do you spell Q? KWUEE.
Okay, mention that to Crash Game. Additional questions?
Yes.
Anything in the chat?
That's not making it right now. Nope, okay. Nothing in
I
the
have a
chat.
lot of questions, but I
Okay.
don't really apply to the whole team.
chatting amongst themselves.
The chat is quiet.
I'm not there, actually. Just poking the bear. Actually, I do have a question.
Yep.
For direction finding and so on, have we talked about at all different other forms of signage? The one that comes to mind for me is the removable adhesive anti-slip floor signage.
We have asked about that for years,
And
and
they
they,
say
they
no. Okay.
keep saying no.
I just haven't gotten an answer before.
So I would love to do that, especially in the elevator area.
A general rule of thumb is we can't put anything out in hotel space.
Right.
At all.
I did send a message to Susie today with one of the myriad of questions I've been accumulating that I sent her today. And one of those is, can we at least put some kind of roll-up banner like the ones we already have? Maybe we can stand up something like that over around the elevators that basically says, please don't loiter here. Maybe they'll let us do that. We're gonna have to run the art by them first, obviously, to make sure they're okay with it. But
Maybe on the spa level, but on the standard hotel level, like the casino level, that might be hard. But on the spa level, if the spa level is considered con space, then that might
Yeah,
be
yeah.
a lot easier.
It's the
But on the
casino-
casino,
But the problem is the casino level.
Yeah.
yeah, the casino level is more, if it's a con or not,
Yeah.
they're not, because especially if we have VIPs on property, it'd be a hard pill to swallow for basically
This-
VIP services to come and be like, oh yeah, sorry, you can't be here.
This last year, GSR cooperated with us to print their own signage for that
Oh, okay,
space. So more than likely, they'll be willing to work with us in that regard moving
Yeah.
forward.
Okay, cool.
They acknowledge the need for signage in that area.
Okay, cool.
Right, but the signage they made for that last year
It
was,
blended in too much.
yeah, it blended in too much. They had to throw it together last minute, so it was
Right.
just laser printed paper and nobody ever saw it.
Right.
But I think now that we know that this is a problem, and if we can get them to cooperate, we can create something that actually stands out and put it in that space. And maybe they'll tell us to take it down, and we'll just have to roll it up and put it away and say, oh, well, I guess we tried. But hopefully they'll actually let us do it.
The point is that we try.
Right.
Was there any information put up in regards to the airport shuttle?
It's mentioned on the hotel website that it's included as part of the hotel room.
Okay.
And I think the schedule is even on there, unless that's changed.
I don't think it's on there.
I'm looking.
I don't know. I should probably know that, but I don't.
Just go BLFC.org/hotel.
Yep.
Don't they have stand-up signs in the lobby?
There's some at the airport.
It's every half hour, right?
Yeah, so it's at 15 and 45 leaving from the airport, and that's when it leaves, and it leaves from here to the airport, top and
Oh,
bottom of the hour, starting at 4:30, ending at 12:30.
Okay. Yeah.
Or 12,
I don't see
4:30
it.
a.m., half past midnight.
Under travel directions,
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
the shuttle runs every 30 minutes from 4:30 a.m. to 12.
Oh, there we go.
Speaking of signage, are we creating any new designs this coming year, or
Besides for signage.
yeah, are we just reusing the last year's? Or,
From my
Oh,
understanding,
we have more signs that we need to make.
yeah, where are we changing up the general like design and whatnot?
I think they're always theme neutral. So
Yeah.
we use them year after year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to keep those theme neutral so we can keep reusing them.
That's what happens to MFF, and why I have an info desk banner on my wall. They
MFF
get
ones
rid
this
of
year
them
were,
every
were
year.
unique. They like specially made some ones for their 20th anniversary. So.
I could see we're making them after a few years, but
Yeah.
because they cost,
Every year is.
Yeah, it
they
gets-
cost quite a bit
gets
for it.
pricey.
Yeah. I don't even think we've ever had a full set anyways.
And every time we think we've got them all, we think of better one, more of them.
Do you have an idea for a new design?
Hmm?
Do you have an idea for a new design?
Well, you know, using the fonts from the stream and whatnot, you know, cyberpunky.
No.
Pretty cool, but it won't be useful for this year, really. So.
Cyberpunk every year.
I think that's about it, unless anyone else has any questions.
So, did we want to talk about the shirt ideas at all, or kind of talk about that in the chat?
You said decoration ideas?
Sure.
Shirt ideas.
Oh, shirt ideas. Yeah, I think I don't mind.
Right. So
Is it going to derail with this many people, or you think it'll work?
no, that's
okay?
fine. We can get ideas. So we need to have the art for the shirt done by February 1st. So that's 3 weeks from now.
Mhm.
So I'm looking for any ideas.
I think we do have an artist lined up to actually draw it,
Potentially, yeah.
potentially. So at least that's okay. But we got to think of what we're going to do.
Fast and easy. You can do some polygon edging. Always good for thematic, especially for cyberpunk. Fast and simple graphics can be made that way while looking fairly decent, and can draft them pretty quick for concept.
That'd be pretty good in case we don't end up having any artists available.
Okay.
Are you ready with that?
I'm trying to get there.
Always a quick idea to just do circuitry lines too, maybe even UV reflective.
No, I don't think
Yeah.
we can use.
I don't think we can.
We can't get you reflective paint on those kinds of shirts.
Yeah, that's why.
Should still look cool.
I'd look at just like the Google image search for some of the more recent cyberpunk RPG book covers. For some ideas. Just because like, oh, that stands out, or oh, if we made that a dog, it'd be for a hyena or whatever, it'd be great.
Have we considered biomech at all?
Yeah.
I've actually got a few artists from the video I put together for the trailer that actually did some cyberpunk themed stuff.
Now I should clarify that the thing that we would need this for, this is if we're going to do a full print shirt that is a full graphic, full color, dye sublimated directly into the fabric,
Like what we've had last few years.
like what we had the last couple of years. Now,
We
if
go
it's
to the
just,
skyline.
if we go with a screen printed shirt, the time frame isn't as tight. That can be done in a shorter time frame.
Since it's already covered, I don't know how widespread some of this information is. It just kind of says on here, like, instead of growing out, it grows up. We could maybe have something like a skyline of Neo Reno. Because then it's simple. It's more just like an outline of buildings, and it could be like
Wait,
mega globalist kind of looking buildings or whatever.
do we have spires again?
There's already a Juggernaut reference in one of the arts.
In a lot of images I found, they also have like the sun setting in the background or something like that.
Oh yeah, like
Very synthwave.
a synthwave, like a synthwave album cover.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that.
always cool.
Well,
I found a lot of images that could be good references.
the thing to remember is, I've always said is that furries want a furry on their shirt. Like, it would be weird to make a furry shirt of just a skyline.
You can have
Yeah, that's-
silhouettes of furries on there.
Sure, yeah. I'm just saying, like just not having any furries on a shirt at a furry convention kind of doesn't make sense.
We're just listening for ideas. We can add
Yep.
the furry part in there.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, like, maybe think about how to get furries into these pictures.
Or like
So-
subtly
The image
Just
Very
furries in
subtly
any-
furry.
just enough to where
When,
Definitely have a
yeah.
preferably we
mountain
want the
sheep on ours.
we do want the shirt designs to be relatively subtle. We want them to be subtle enough that people can wear them anywhere.
We could also put I don't know if we'd have to contact. So would these be like free swag that we'd be giving out, or would people have to pay for these?
These are shirts that would be included with higher level registrations.
Okay, so if we were to use that, would we need branding permission? Like, would we need to pay for branding? Because what I'm thinking we could do is we could have like multiple corporations like Hyena Agenda or different furry companies and have
That's a good
those
one.
on the skyline of the buildings.
That plays into favoritism at that point. I'm much rather make fake companies than
Yeah.
real companies.
Okay, or yeah, it could be
Related.
fake companies, or it could just be like something like that. So it's like,
real
oh,
fake
like that's obviously a furry company or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I think
So
I
it
think
is
in
more
that case
subtle.
we would just make up fictitious companies that don't exist, and then we solve that problem.
Wolf
But-
policy.
But yeah, it would make sense to have lots of. If you did some kind of a city skyline, it would absolutely make sense to have ads all over the place.
Yeah, that actually sounds really cool.
And you see that.
Especially
You
with,
see that in
like-
Blade Runner.
Yeah.
There's like,
Oh,
maybe
God.
corporations did
Big-
subtle advertising.
Yeah.
Kind of goes into the theme.
Go with the Blade Runner one big picture.
And if anybody in the room hasn't read it yet, the other half of the meeting agenda has the current synopsis, the current theme synopsis. That might give you some inspiration for more shirt ideas.
Is this ready to go live?
This is not quite ready to go live. Damek has more edits to flesh this out further.
Everybody breathe.
Towards the electronics.
The picture that just went up on the website recently is honestly very strong for thematically. Like that's when I think of that, I'd be like, well, people are gonna want something like that on a shirt.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the artist that's available to.
Which is like that,
To do
that
the shirt
style
fronts.
looks like it came exactly out of a cover from an RPG book.
Yeah.
Yeah, long sleeve shirt with biomechanics.
Yeah, I always thought like, what is that game where she's like jumping around buildings, the parkour lady?
You're
Mirror's
thinking of
Edge.
Mirror's Edge.
Yeah, that's the one I was like, you know, I was
That's
in my
all
mind's eye
too.
when was thinking about that. It would be very pretty.
Mirror's Edge was part of the reason. That was kind of the inspiration of why we had a shoulder bag in 2015. Actually,
Remember those shoulder bags
Yes.
they gave out for those? Yeah, I think I got you one.
Yeah, it's a.
It's good.
and that's likely to be a swag item again this year as a shoulder bag because we haven't done one since 2015.
Could
So I
definitely use
think we
one.
can get away with it again.
I don't know, I have a lot of backpacks.
Can never
I
go.
got a
Oh
cooler
my
hat.
god, we do.
Well, more
Now you can
packs.
Now you can wear one on the front because that's what's great about shoulder bags. You can wear it on
We
the
can
back.
kind of make it as a joke too, like have it be, or not a joke necessarily, but kind of play into like the Neo Reno theme of like hiding things from the corporation. So like a really bad like cover up of what's actually inside of it.
I don't follow, I guess.
So like fake duct tape or whatever over what the bag actually has in it. So like the bag could be like branded as like medical supplies or something, but it's like written as like a bad piece of like written medical supplies.
Misspelled with a K.
That's what I was thinking of patches doing, so you can do that.
Yeah,
Patches.
or Velcro have patch spots.
But you're talking about that in context of of a shoulder bag
Yes.
as swag, not as a shirt. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was getting a little mixed up there.
At least BLFC's
Guess we
when
got
you're walking
one
with a
off
fanny pack, a backpack, and a shoulder pack, all for branded for BLFC.
Oh, and a camera.
I think I
bag.
have all those.
On a camera bag too.
Didn't they make a
Laptop
game
bags
of
out in the
Death
truck.
Stranding, I think?
Specifically,
Man.
Where they put bags on bags
Actually,
on bags.
Giving camelbacks to all of the congoers would
Oh
make
my
sure
God.
everybody's hydrated.
That because we just put.
We just put vodka in there.
Yeah, everyone would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
You
the
know
nice thing
everyone
about it
would
is
have
we gave them
Kool-Aid,
access to water. They
soda,
chose not to take
alcohol.
it.
Just use fucking
I mean, what do you think we put in all the bottles anyway?
It's like, hey, you can't have alcohol in here. This is water.
Feel like they're
Really?
always
Chug
gonna
it.
Done.
I know it's-
I was gonna say there are some people.
Well, I mean,
who be
yeah.
I've never done that.
We all know that everybody's like Port of Subs bottle that we give them never,
yeah.
always just has soda from Port of Subs in it.
Oh,
yeah.
There'd never be anything else.
And whiskey.
No, never.
They just end up in
Some percentage of soda.
I mean, it is an iced tea of some kind.
Oh, it has soda
Just
from
like
Port of
every
Subs.
blue
It's some
Gatorade
type
bottle
of mix.
just has blue Gatorade in it.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
No.
Never. Why would there?
Oh, this is just iced tea.
Just juggle
Kind
it.
of.
Anyway, shirt ideas.
Anyway,
Yes.
alcoholism.
I mean, if you're going cyberpunky, again, another thing to keep in mind for art direction is you never go wrong with enough buckles and straps.
Okay.
And glowy stuff.
And
Like,
stuff.
What about a shirt that just replicates all those buckles and straps?
Well, yes, that's what referencing. Yeah.
Just
Oh, I don't think he was suggesting.
Actual buckles and straps.
Yeah, but I mean, it just has the buckles and straps printed all over.
That's what
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I'm suggesting.
If you
Like,
put actual
like
buckles and
tuxedo shirt,
straps, we're going into a whole different ballgame.
Cyberpunk.
I don't know
What
what
if it's less
So
successful
the
than
tech deck.
people? But, you know.
See, here, Shook. This is one of my
Okay,
favorite
Klaus,
variants
right?
that has like the angled neck with the button snaps over
I think
the.
he found that image on there too on the.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I.
Another couple things we thought of earlier was some kind of a print that actually looks like a cybernetic armor or something like that.
Yes.
That's also been kicked around.
You're talking about that's probably a full like print around the shirt.
Correct. Yeah, this is all print around like full print shirts right now.
I really think
I'd
I'd buy
furries
that
would dig
for
that
a-
shit. Like if there was just like circuitry all over the shirt, like
Hmm?
Well, it doesn't even, it could be like a long sleeve with like something here.
Yeah. Or,
well, you
a-
could make it
kinda
nobody
like
ever
a-
does long sleeves.
Yeah, no one.
or like an
As long
implant
as
or
they
something
do
like that.
that.
Yeah.
Now, if we want to do something like that, I don't know how well that's going to fit into the current skill set of the artist we have in mind.
No, but those
But-
can just be found by a different artist.
Right.
Easily mocked up even.
Yeah.
What about some kind of like
The-
secret police thing? Because I assume
Elaborate.
Reno's a police state. You could have it be like informants or something like that, but have it be built into the shirt.
almost adapt something from 2017 almost.
Well,
The,
we'll always have the hush puppies.
The oh god, what do you call them? No, the
Well, we could even like write it into the lore, like
we had it on the white
ancient
t-shirts.
society of hush
I forget what
puppies
they
or
call
whatever, like, coming back.
Wait, so
Never
we're in the
left.
same universe?
Yeah,
Is this-
where they've stayed hidden
It's
for
always-
100 years.
Are you literally just talking about the word informant on a shirt? Like, I don't think
Well,
so.
no, not literally,
much
just
as,
like
like,
some kind of uniform that would be like a member of the secret police or something.
Yeah.
As
In
much
this-
as I don't want to have to make this comment, I am going to request that we don't do anything too secret policey because of people we've had problems with before and not wanting to entertain them.
True.
Yeah.
Very true.
This was
Yeah.
Make shirts that say
Flittering
secret
in the
police on them or
story,
something, we're going to attract a very specific group of people that we've had issues with. I would rather not even come close to that.
Yeah, no, it's like, no, this Reno in the story pretty much is not a police state. It's a corporate state, much the same as 2015, but it's not at that level.
Okay.
2015 was a blast, but that was 2015. We're not there anymore.
I'll also show just as broad strokes design principle, heavy asymmetric geometry.
Yeah.
just general geometry.
Yeah, just general blocky based geometry of maybe different colors that section up the shirt into, nice compartments that are visually attractive.
Okay. I'm on that document now. I am noting these things.
We could do something like a Crytek suit.
Oh, yeah, but like I'm talking
It looks
about
like a
stuff
Crytek
like,
document as well.
you see how it's sectioned.
Oh, yeah.
Like those?
Yes, but like,
Ah, okay.
Like Laura Croft.
well, I mean, more sectioned up clothing. Like a lot of stuff that makes video game character clothing look so much more interesting than like stuff in reality. Is everything real is very uniform. It's very tightly knit together. It's all single color. You end up something like a ski jacket, and it's like, wow, that thing looks incredible because it's all compartmentalized colors and shapes and patterns in either symmetrical or asymmetrical. And asymmetrical just looks better for cyberpunk.
Okay. Can anybody the concept of Reno being basically a city full of artists is heavily, I think it's here in the synopsis, but if it's not, it's going to be a heavy focus.
It is.
It's
Can also
It's a little bit of a Burning Man inspiration, but it's also just like trying to, it's trying to acknowledge and honor and celebrate the fact that the furry community as a whole is very general. It's just artistic.
can also pull some design principles from Motorcycle Under Armour.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of where I get a lot of my things.
Actually, that sounds a lot like the Juggernaut David suits.
And if that's how it goes, that's how it goes.
Because,
Just
because that
throwing
was
design
pretty
ideas.
much biker armor with a little bit of Tron thrown in.
Yeah,
Juggernaut
this-
was kind of tangential to this.
Yeah, I mean this theme is naturally going to have some adjacency to both the 2015 and the 2017 themes.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly okay if that's how it goes down.
What if we had some kind of like tagging on the armor? So, like,
Tagging as in
artistic
graffiti or tags?
Either or, like, because it's supposed to be a city of artists, like, like a corporate run, assuming that people are given a lot of things. Like, okay, here's the clothes you can wear, because it's only made by one company, but people make it their own.
See, something like this is utility.
Well, we've never made clothing with tagging. The clothing we made with the gear with the graffiti was just splattery paint. It's not undoable, and I'm ever since that year I've been a big fan of that shit. So I mean, it's cyberpunk. I mean, punks do whatever they want. So
Right.
like some punks.
I'm not sure if it would be too pricey of an idea to do, but we could even have like 1, 2, maybe even like 3 different designs, like similar designs, or maybe just different colors, the same
Well,
design. but
or
different
maybe
colors.
even the same base design, just with different graffiti later.
Yeah,
on top.
Well, that includes.
that
Well,
is
okay.
that is doable in that process because there's no real minimum in that particular print process.
The only difficulty
It is more work for the artist.
The only difficulty we run into is people wanting a specific shirt,
Yes.
and then running up the registration wanting to swap out shirts.
And then a department gets bogged down because of a decision made like that.
Such as the con store with the bandanas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had like several boxes of swaps for bandanas because they wanted a specific color.
Okay.
It's nice to offer variety, but not logistically.
Right. We've done it in the past. We've made it work. We just have to be, if we decide to do it, we have to be aware that we're signing ourselves up for more work.
I think that luckily only worked because the bandanas were so tiny. If they were shirts or hoodies, that would have been a nightmare.
Okay.
God.
I don't want those bandanas.
And because we had a great number too many of those bandanas too, we didn't even get close to running out.
We still got them.
Yes, I know.
Well, I think it's because it was at least me. I don't know if anybody else helped with that, but at least I made the prediction that most people would want to buy all three. They would get one and they would want to go buy the other two, and that just didn't happen. So we bought way the hell too many.
They are very popular at the team events, guys, so.
Yeah, that's why we're kind of starting to give them away now. Is just because we have so goddamn many of them.
They work really well for that, so it's.
Yeah.
Do we still have any of the BLFC, those polo shirts?
Yeah, we do.
We have some
Actually.
in some colors.
Do we have an idea for the poker chip yet?
Not really. We just have a rough idea of color, but not design.
Yeah, I was
What
thinking
if,
that they,
what if we
use-
made the shirt a little more, I don't want to say uniform, but less flashy, but put more of like the specific, like, kind of out there ideas, just to make printing easy, or maybe make like different poker chips, so that people could trade poker chips, like maybe from last year or from the year before, like, oh, like you have this one, but I want this one, can I trade with you?
We already do that.
Well, no, but I mean like have like 3 different prints for the poker chip.
We did do that in 2016. Yeah. We did do that where there were 3 different designs of poker chip.
For the factories.
And if you were attendee, you got one at random. If you were sponsor, you got one at random. If you were patron, you got all 3. And there was no level above patron that year.
Okay.
And the specific intent there was to encourage people to trade amongst themselves, and I think that worked out okay.
I'm not sure we ever found out if they did or not.
Now we got a, I don't know, relatively steady amount of people asking for the chips at OBS.
The thing is, though, it's fun. The reason we did 3 is because it was relevant. I don't know if we want to do the extra work because there's no really relevancy to it.
Yeah, we're not dealing with factions so much, clearly defined factions so much this year.
There's a little bit of that going on in like the shared theme. There's been some echoes of that in stuff that the other cons are doing.
Or maybe like one for each of the mega corporations. Even right now.
Mega corporations right now.
Yeah. Like one for the Atlantis, one like you could do blue for the blue or red for the GSR, a different color for whatever casino you wanted to base it off.
Oh. Yeah, Shook. Also, don't forget meaningless chevrons. Just completely pointless chevrons.
Oh, it's good. It's a good idea. I like it. I will note that down in with the other
Make
Slack
sure it goes in
document.
exactly like that. Meaningless chevrons.
Meaningless.
Meaningless and random.
They have to be organized.
No 2 shirts are the same. The chevron placement is off by at least a millimeter.
So there is another spot where I've noted down some ideas regarding or for the poker chips, so I will write that idea down in there too.
Another thing as well is that if people want to, or if we have extras left over, it could also be put on after the con. Like, I don't know if you guys still have it up there for the 2016 con store, but, oh, you weren't able to get the ones that you want, like, they're available, like, oh, you didn't get the merch you wanted, you didn't get the shirt you wanted, you didn't get the chip you wanted, it's available still.
Yeah. Yep, it's always available in the online con store post-con. It's also whatever we have that's extra is available in the on-site con store at con.
We're not doing the year delay anymore for the.
No, we stopped doing that last year. We stopped doing the 1 year exclusivity thing last year, or maybe it was the year prior to that.
I think it was last year.
I think it was last year. After you had pointed out to me that people like just lose interest in the product shortly after the con is over, and that makes it much harder to sell off the rest of it.
And the storage unit loves it.
I think this year we just didn't order enough. That's
Right. Yeah, we just ran so low that there really wasn't anything left to put in the con store. In fact, I think registration had to steal the stock back away from the con store, didn't they? Because someone done goofed and didn't calculate the numbers right, or the registration system continued to let people to upgrade or something. I don't remember. I'm not sure exactly what.
Yeah,
happened.
that's what it was.
The registration
Like
system
we,
was
we
letting
ordered
people
the,
still
we
upgrade.
ordered the shirts and then things change after it.
Is that what happened?
I think so.
People were fired. It's okay.
Should never be hired.
Yeah.
We may also do patches or pins or some other small items to kind of fill in if a person's not getting enough stuff for their patron or sponsor membership. My goal is to, like, however much money they're giving us, my goal is to use a decent chunk of that actually buying stuff that person gets to have, instead of the con just keeping it. That's I don't think that's appropriate.
Are we?
So we try to give people their money's worth.
Has there been any? This is probably too early. Has there been any discussion of like a special like staff pin like we had last year?
No discussion about that yet, but
Okay.
it's never too early, really.
Yeah.
Especially with
People really seem to enjoy that pin last year. I know I like mine.
It's on the to-do list, but we haven't started discussion on that stuff yet.
Okay.
we will want to do that pretty soon though, because especially those kind of pins actually take a surprisingly long time to get. They have like at least a 4-week lead time, if not 6 or 8.
Okay.
Yeah, like the David Shield pins.
Oh, I love that's like.
Yeah, the
still my
ones that
favorite.
arrived like a week after the con was over. And I had
Yes.
to mail out to everybody. Because the company that made them promised that we would have them in time
It didn't.
and didn't. When no other company was like, no, we can't supply that in that time frame, I'm sorry.
In defense of that, I had no idea it was coming until it arrived in the mail, so it was a pleasant surprise. Even though it was obviously a logistical mess.
Oh my god, yeah. It sounds like most people got their Christmas cards too.
Yep.
Oh
we
man,
haven't
the
heard
ops
issues.
chat was loving that. You're getting some real props from our rank and file staff. Like, wow, thank you so much. This makes us feel
Yep.
like this more than almost anything else makes us feel valued.
Yeah,
I did
yeah,
get
personalized
one
messaging
case
sent back.
where one of the very last ones I signed somehow did not arrive. I don't know what happened with it, but we'll figure it out.
I've got a whole like stack of them that I've kicked back with bad addresses or whatever.
Nice.
I think I've got a stack of them like this tall now.
Oh my gosh.
That are all
Those lovely
bounce,
yellow
that all
labels
bounce
on the front.
back. Yeah. There's probably a whole bunch more in the PO box now too, because they like a whole bunch of them bounce back a week after we send them, and then like 1 or 2 keeps coming back like weeks and months later.
As they get further through the system and then realize that it doesn't work. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think last year I still had some coming back as late as like March.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah. That's our postal service.
They have a contract with Amazon.
Well, I mean, to be fair, when they're just returning something to sender, that's low priority, right? It's just going to languish on the back of a shelf until somebody gets around to it. They have no obligation to send that back in any kind of time frame.
So, remind me next time I'm over there, I wanna look through that because there were a few people from ops that didn't update their addresses like they were supposed to. So, if it's a name I recognize, I can probably people and get them.
Or somebody, yeah. Got a surprise in the mail.
There were definitely a couple in there where somebody had put in an obviously like fictitious address, and I just didn't send those at all.
Oh.
Somebody had put in like 1234 Anywhere Street or something like that, something that's obviously just a bullshit address.
3
And that tells me that that person just does not want to receive any mail from us ever. So I guess I will just not send this to them.
1, 2, 3, 4.
In the future, we should probably have something in the registration system, like a little box that's something like somebody can tick that says, "Please never mail me anything."
Well, we now have how many ideas? 15 ideas.
For shirts.
Thank you guys.
I can get you a shirt idea too. I just need to find the reference. Sorry.
No birds.
Well, fine. Never mind.
We have 15. I'm closing the suggestions box.
Circles.
What even are circles?
Before totally closing the suggestions box, does anybody have a shirt idea that would be specific to screen printing, where it's like a plain T-shirt and like your Pepsi Cola shirt, for example, that you're wearing?
Circles.
So I would prefer to do full print shirts this year, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to achieve that. But I don't know if anybody has an idea that specifically looks better as a screen print than it does as a full print. There's
Do we have like a tagline?
little that I can think of.
Well, you could just do a good old fashioned visit Neo Reno.
Okay.
Even do it in retro
maybe
kind
a
of.
couple
yeah,
variants
the
with the
PepsiCo
corporate
kind of.
logos that you want to put in whatever
Maybe the,
background, maybe.
Dixie cup, or the old cups with the
The Dixie cup.
Brand
You
of
could also
world
do,
building malarkey is always good. People like world flavor, so the more little things that we could tie in, the better.
We could do an offshoot of the Welcome to Reno sign.
Ooh.
The Neo Reno.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
For
welcome to
free, we
Neo
can
Reno.
always add a mountain goat on our mountain sheet.
Yeah.
Well,
Visit
what about the
wonderful
bear?
Neo Reno.
Or you could go UNR, put a wolf.
No, I like that Reno thing.
Welcome to Neo Reno.
I actually really like that. Just a
Yeah.
futuristic vision of that, what that sign will look like 100
Yeah.
years from now.
Yeah.
It'll probably be holographic as fuck.
More
Like,
Or run down
Or you could
historical.
even, you could have it be
Like it is
projected
now,
over north
from the
over
1912s.
Virginia. So like you're standing in that plaza that they close off for like New Year's, and you're looking up and seeing the projected "Welcome to Neo."
Yeah,
oh no, how about this? It's just projected over the whole damn city.
So that skyline
It's
idea that
projected.
we had?
It's projected from, or like you're seeing a,
It's not
a
projected,
satellite.
guys.
map.
That's AI.
Yeah, it's just a giant projected arch
It
over the
looked like
whole
it looked
city.
like Coruscant from the prequels.
Yeah, with that skyline idea that we
Yeah,
had
and
earlier.
you can
Yeah.
put just a couple characters in front of the sign too. That way you got the reason.
What?
So.
I'm just trying to picture who to hire to draw that.
Well, if we can't find somebody to draw it, then
I
well,
think
but-
there is enough artists in this community to be able to facilitate this.
Yeah, the
idea.
question is, are there enough artists in this community that can finish this art in the next 3 weeks?
And not charge,
Well,
and not charge
really
$1,000.
Oh yeah, and not charge us a fucking arm and a leg.
Well,
Yeah.
they're worth it. Just
Yeah, yeah.
it's not.
Yeah, yeah, they're
They're
Rush,
worth it.
They're
but
worth it.
rush fees hurt.
They're worth it. They're just not in the budget.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the way I always say.
I can poke around at some illustrators I know.
We are not going for scat.
Do you have a telegram?
Yeah.
Pictures all the same. I don't know why.
I'm in the BLFC break room, so you can
Oh,
There's some of them.
split.
Yeah. So would we go for the projected sign, or are we going to go with the physical sign?
Oh, I just wrote it down for now. I don't know what we're
They're
gonna
not-
do.
Yeah, I'm sure like they're probably gonna look at all the ideas and then vote on that. It's not like we would decide it right here. This is just ideas.
It's no longer
Brainstorming.
Everybody
You go home, you drink, and then.
Yeah, right now we're just trying to gather as many
Go home,
ideas as
drink,
we
make
can,
decisions.
and
Because every now and then something will trigger alpha even a better idea, like that just did.
yep.
Oh, that's one.
When we cry a little bit, our mind clears, and then we go ahead and do it. So we're good.
Like,
stop crying.
If we actually tried to make decisions at the table of this many people, like
You start.
Yeah,
you stop
it
crying?
never happens. So the actual decision making will be done by a small team because it just does not work when you try and do it with a large team.
But what's the 18th thing?
Oh.
Cracker.
I have a design idea.
Top men.
Pizza, or sandwiches, or
you're fired. I said.
No.
or sushi, anything edible.
Oh, are we gonna be having any deal with local restaurants like last year we had with EG?
No, of course not.
Every year.
Skills phrase, so that's a different one. The GSR does not like us to do this.
Oh, okay.
So we don't talk about it.
We don't talk about it.
Okay.
If some cards happen to show up, then you know.
Oh man, I hope that Truman has been made aware of that issue. I guess he might not have been.
I don't know, is there something we're not supposed to talk about? Weren't you listening?
What? I'm sorry, what was that?
Nothing. Nothing. I just blacked out. It was weird.
Yeah.
The microphone comes back.
Yeah.
Say if you need a card game, the hotel certainly doesn't play.
Suddenly,
I think. Do we have anything else we need to bring up, or?
Oh shit.
I think brainstorming was the last thing we needed to do.
A fancy cake.
Yep, that was the last thing we needed to do. I did get an okay from Geens to let everybody know here. We are also working on an overflow hotel for this year.
Oh, nice.
Very, very small block. Just 100 rooms at the Nugget.
Oh
wow, really? The Nugget?
Yeah. He was telling me that he's been talking about
Caving.
I mean, they took
No, they're
all
just
of
desperate.
Tailhawk, which was,
They're not
I
desperate
guarantee
either.
you that was,
How is that?
it's
is that
basically
just-
about 5,000 Navy pilots who come to Reno.
Tailhook, oh god.
So what Geens and I have been working on is we are creating a small block there and hiring a shuttle service to run a shuttle back and forth between the Nugget and here.
That could be arranged through Beldesk.
It'll cost a lot more money if we arrange it through a hotel. If we arrange it ourselves through a private company, it turned out to be much cheaper.
Oh.
We did look into that. Nugget offered to run a shuttle for us, but it was like triple the price of hiring Reno Tahoe Limousine. So
So
And they have a good
they run a shuttle around all the hotels.
yeah, RTL seems pretty chill. One of their people even recognized the furry community. They're like, "Oh, yeah, I've heard about you people."
What's your thing or bad thing?
No, it sounded like a good thing.
The new Rolling Stone article or the old article?
The other thing we may do, if time allows, is I may try to rig up a small like head drying thing that we can stick in one of the seats of the shuttle.
Is
Just-
it going to be very clear how to interface with them? Because it's something we're providing, so if they if people get stuck at the Nugget, it's going to be our problem.
Make sure we have this
Well, we'll have to publish the time frame that the shuttle runs, which is not going to be 24-hour.
Okay.
And if we have somebody who is outside the time of the shuttle, then they get to hire a lift.
And then do we have a way to keep like those drivers from taking like a regular person that just sees it and thinks like, oh yeah, this is ours? Like, do they have to show a badge or something?
I haven't thought about that. I suppose it's possible that somebody might hop on the shuttle thinking it's going to the airport, maybe?
You just put a sign in the wing. Because they're branded for the GSR for the airport shuttle. And generally with private companies like that, they're like, hey, are you here for this event? And if they're like, no, it's like, okay, well, this is a private.
Yeah, I mean, this is just going to be a miscellaneous bus that says Reno Tahoe Limousine on the side of it. I don't think anybody's going
at
to
the
get that
most,
mixed
they
up.
can always put just a 8.5 by 11 piece of paper.
I hope there is some sort of document that for the higher ups to know how to interface with them, their times and schedules, and stuff like that. Especially something in like ConOps would be very good. 'Cause
Yeah,
people
I
are going to
have a lot
have
of requests for
those questions are going to come up, and we don't want pissed off people.
Especially being the
because
first
we
one
don't
that
know
provided
the
it.
information.
They're just not media requests.
I have a list. Big list.
And a possible solution if they totally drop the ball.
If they totally drop the ball, God, I don't know.
You don't have to know right now. I'm just saying you gotta know.
Well, my initial thought was like, okay, I guess we'll just pay for people's Ubers, and it'd probably be cheap. Well, it'd probably be cheaper than the shuttle would be, to be honest.
If there's something
But I don't
super
think you
crazy bad happens and you actually end up needing to pay for people's ride shares, let me know. My roommate works for Lyft. They might be able to do something, but that's like an emergency case.
Yeah, that would be my emergency fallback. But it just occurred to me that I don't think it's possible to pay for someone else's ride share that's not part of the ride share.
Yes,
It is possible.
You can set
It
up
is.
event codes.
It is. I do that all the time.
We do that to make sure that the furries in the area don't drive drunk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, it would take a lot of ride shares to total the cost of a shuttle, actually.
Also, it's only, what, 100 rooms, right? Which, well, nothing is not huge.
Right.
Like, it
Right,
sounds
there's
like
not
this
gonna be
is-
that many
this-
people
This
going.
is a pilot program,
Right,
effectively.
exactly.
Yeah, the thing is, a lot of those people that are, if they're gonna stay there, aren't gonna be driving a car.
Right, and this year I fully expect there to be not enough people in the overflow to even offset the cost of the shovel.
So
At least not for this first year, but if
Gotta
it
start
works
somewhere.
out, then it probably will be money neutral in following years.
Do you have a rough estimate of the pricing for the shuttle?
How much we're paying for it?
Yeah.
I have a rough estimate.
Okay,
It
because
was-
I believe, and I don't know enough about the pricing for the GSR to state this with certainty, but I believe it would be $60 per 2 hours.
I believe that's quite a bit higher than what RTL is charging us.
Okay.
This is why people
Actually, maybe not.
I'm not
Either
sure. I
way.
assume you have Samantha Morris. for
So,
contact info?
so the Nugget offered, but I don't think we actually asked the GSR yet. So,
Okay.
you said Samantha Morris.
Yeah, I gave her card to. Who came with me to the Belknap? Was it you?
Probably me.
Yeah, I think I gave you her card. But she would be the person in charge of transportation, and I'm sure with an event as huge as this, it would either be comped or given at a lower rate. I can also just ask her when I go back to work. Currently in the middle of an almost 2-hour lunch. So.
Get on. Some 8-year-old bus driver that just doesn't give a shit.
Well, I haven't gotten an angry text yet, so I'm assuming that I'm not in trouble. Was there any department that had any hotel questions, like extensions, locations on stuff, anything?
I'll have a bunch, but I'll get it to you in an organized fashion.
I just want my roll-up doors there.
Say again?
I just want the roll-up doors there.
Well,
Roll
wait,
up.
just to make things clear, we should be doing all of our hotel stuff through Cody. Like, I don't want any confusion about like who we go through. Although you might have a lot of contacts. If some people are going to you and some people are going to Cody.
I was just referring to information. I wasn't referring to getting anything done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would get fired if I tried to do that. So I was just like, if you need contact information, if you need anything, I can get information.
I did give that name Samantha Morris to Geens to look into if he feels like looking into that.
Okay. And I'm not sure if it's already part of the contract. I'm not sure if she'd be able to authorize it. But if it's outside of the contract and you're just trying to get something in there,
It would be outside of contract for this
Okay.
year.
Don't die.
Definitely next year. it is
Stop.
something
Well, that's why I face you. Well, don't be
I went to 3
sick.
different apartments and all of them were. And one of them was closed.
I think I'm getting better actually.
That's good. You don't seem like you're dying.
Not yet.
Again,
We're all dying slowly.
Con hasn't killed me yet.
Except him.
My office?
He's a Hussein Bolt.
I see you like this. Like,
FC hasn't happened.
Usually writing times.
So,
I think that's about it.
This is an hour and a half meeting.
Gumdrops. Steak.
Where's the gavel?
3 people satisfied. Can we go home now?
I haven't been home since 5 a.m.
Same.
Hope you brought a blanket and a pillow.